Legoland Billund was the first Legoland park, and it also happens to be the best one. Located in Denmark next to the original Lego factory, this park features the usually great architecture and family rides, but this one also mixes in some more thrilling attractions to appeal to older guests. So in this review, I'll tell you everything you need to know about this park. In the 1940s, Lego began manufacturing the iconic plastic brick in Billund that would define the entire company. Legos are extremely popular, especially amongst kids. They allow the user to express their creativity in a fun and colorful way. By the 1960s, the Lego factory was attracting roughly 20,000 tourists annually. The company realized there was an opportunity to do more with the brand. So in 1968, they opened a theme park just down the road from their factory named Legoland Billund. The park was an instant success. It was so successful that Lego tried to open an additional park shortly thereafter. The second one opened in Sierksdorf, Germany, but it lasted for just 3 years before being sold and eventually turned into Hansa Park. Lego tried to expand their brand again in the 1990s. They converted a former safari park in England into Legoland Windsor in 1996, and they opened Legoland California in 1999. Then they opened Legoland Dutchland in 2002. After taking a financial loss in 2005, the Lego Group sold their parks to Merlin. The Legoland brand has exploded ever since. Merlin has opened 7 additional theme parks, and 5 more are under construction. Legoland is now widely considered one of the premier family theme park brands in the world. I think Legoland Billund is the chain's flagship park still after all these years. Some of the other properties cover more land, but Billund is arguably the densest park, as it's jam-packed with colorful displays and rides, some of which are unique to this park. And you can also pair your visit with the unique Lego House, which is an attraction filled with museums and interactive exhibits dedicated entirely to Legos. This is a must for die-hard Lego fans, and it's roughly a half mile from the park. You can actually walk between them or take a shuttle bus. Legoland Billund's location is super convenient. It's roughly 1.5 miles from the Billund Airport. It's so close you can actually walk between the two, but I'd recommend the shuttle bus that takes all of 4 minutes instead. These buses can also be used in conjunction with trains to get between Legoland and Copenhagen. If you arrive by car, you have multiple parking lots to choose from. The most convenient by far is P1. It's right across the street from the main entrance and no more than a 2 to 3 minute walk. Arrive early if you want this lot. All of Legoland's lots cost the same, which was 60 Danish krona or $8 as of 2022. Despite being better than the US Legolands, the Billund location is far more affordable. Admission costs 400 Danish krona or $54 US as of 2022. The US Legoland parks cost nearly $90 for comparison. The park looks very similar to the other Legolands in that it looks fantastic. Guests are greeted by a giant entry archway, and then you'll find a variety of themed lands inside the park. Each has its own unique feel, and all of them feature colorful displays inspired by or actually built by Legos. This place really is a kid's dream come true, but anyone who's a fan of theming can appreciate all the little details that went into this park. And the park also has some nice landscaping and spots along with all the fantastical figures and structures. The cheery atmosphere is further enhanced by the park staff. They are very friendly. You want that at any theme park, but it's especially critical at a park aimed more towards children. I'm going to break this park down land by land, but first, I want to give some generalizations about the ride offerings. Legoland Billund has a strong mix of gentle rides you'd expect from the chain. This park has plenty of quality dark rides spread across the park that can be enjoyed by all. Then each land has a few designated kiddie rides, playgrounds, or buildings for the young kids. But this park also has some true thrill rides that can invert you over a dozen times. Can being the key word. The experiences are smartly customizable depending on your tastes. I think that was a brilliant move to make them approachable for all. Moving on to the lands, let's start with the heart and soul of any Legoland park, Miniland. This is a well-landscaped walkthrough area home to some of the best Lego models in the world. You pass famous landmarks recreated with Legos. Not only are they highly detailed, but some even have motion and animation built in. This entire area is an attraction in itself and not to be missed. You don't want to rush through here. You can also find 2 great observation rides in this section. Lego Top is the park's tallest attraction. It's a 12-story tall observation tower offering spectacular views of Miniland, the rest of the park, and the surrounding area. Alternatively, you can take the monorail for a more intimate tour of the front half of the park. Imagination Zone doesn't have a real theme to it. The Legoland Hotel runs along this area, and you have 2 notable attractions. One is Lego Atlantis, which is a giant aquarium. The other is Lego Studios, which is a decent 4D theater. Duplo Land functions as the park's Kiddyland with a series of colorful transportation rides. Ninjago World feels pretty identical to the ones found at the US parks. The centerpiece is a giant dojo housing Ninjago the ride. This is one of my favorite shooters out there. Firing projectiles with hand motions makes me feel like a superhero. And unlike web slingers, the screen isn't utter chaos, you can actually tell what's happening. Lagordo Town is my favorite area from a theming perspective. A lot of parks have done a Wild West area, but this is the first time I've seen one from Lego. It has the usual architecture and golden brown colors, but the infusion of Lego breathes new life into this theme. This land is home to Flying Eagle, a Zero family coaster that was cloned for Runaway Tram at Maury's Piers. This ride is pretty fun. It has some nice landscaping, it's immaculately smooth, and some of the turns offer some force. You also have Lego Canoe, which is a well-themed log flume. You travel through a mountain and go past a few Lego sets. Then you also have a drop. It's not particularly tall nor intense, as the ride is more about the visuals. The other major ride in this area doesn't really fit in with the rest of the land thematically. That would be Ghost the Haunted House. But the ride otherwise looks amazing both from the creepy exterior and all the details inside. This ride features a fun and spooky queue line with some haunted scenes and even a mirror maze. All this leads to a small indoor drop tower. It's fine for kids, but I was shocked how short the cycle was. Knight's Kingdom is a medieval themed area. The area's focal point is a castle, which houses the station for Dragon. This is a unique Mach-powered coaster capable of running 2 trains. The ride has a solid dark ride section at the start like the chain's other Dragon coasters, but the outdoor section this was much milder. That part feels more like a junior coaster, albeit one with some nice landscaping. This area is also home to Vikings River Splash, a quirky Intamin River Rapids ride. This one doesn't have too many rapids, but it's plussed by a variety of figures, and the course has some mild thrills mixed in, as there are 2 abrupt dips that offer speed boosts and a fun finale. You have a swift elevator lift followed by a ramp, and whoever goes backwards will get soaked in this part. Pirate Land is a swashbuckling good time with all the ships and water. Pirate's Splash Battle brings a lot of energy to the land as riders and guests engage in soaking water fights. But the area's best ride is Pirate Bud. Parts of it are outdoors. Parts of it are indoors, and there are some scenes that feel like a Lego version of Pirates of the Caribbean. Adventureland has an exploration vibe with some jungle and ruin themed attractions. Extreme Racers is the area's biggest ride. This Mach Wild Mouse coaster features a sizable drop at the start for the genre, but the rest of the ride is heavily trimmed, neutering the usually strong laterals. It does make it less intense, which was probably deliberate for the park's primary audience. Jungle Racers is one of those rare Zero water lips. It's a neat sensation skimming across the water, and I wish more of these rides were around. Temple is a fine shooting dark ride. What few sets the ride has look good. The problem with this ride is that it's over in a flash. It is among the shortest of its kind out there. The targets all work, but the guns have a bit of a learning curve to them because the laser deactivates whenever you fire. Last but not least, you have Fire Brigade. This is a Legoland staple. It's a fun race to see who can propel their car and extinguish the fire first. I don't think this fits in with the rest of the area, but the ride itself is good. Lego Movie World is an over-the-top and outlandish land themed with all sorts of references to the popular film. There are 2 rides of note here. Emmett's Flying Adventure Masters of Flight is a flying theater. These rides usually offer peaceful and scenic tours of landmarks, but this one is an acid trip. It is sensory overload as you chaotically move through crowded scenes. I still enjoy the ride, but I prefer the more traditional flying theaters. You can better appreciate the visuals. Apocalypseburg Sky Battle is a technical park flat ride where guests can use the paddles, if they choose, to invert their vehicle. If you get the motion down, you can get some nice hang time over the top and rapid flips towards the bottom. I probably got 24 flips on this ride. Moving on to Polarland, which is understandably Arctic themed, you have another similarly crazy ride in Ice Pilot School. This is a quintet of Kuga robot arms placed indoors. Before you board, you can select a level 1 to 5, with 1 being the tamest and 5 being the craziest. You then can select specific maneuvers for your arm to perform during the ride. If you go with level 5, you get 1 minute of consecutive mayhem, and I'm pretty sure I spent more time inverted than upright. I got a delightful mix of hang time and more forceful flips when I was launched forwards or backwards. Just beware this ride's capacity, and I have a whole review going into more detail. This land is also home to the park's final coaster in Polar Explorer, and I think it's the best coaster at a Legoland park. This Sear creation offers some force on the turns and a pinch of airtime on the speed hills, and the entire layout takes place in and around a mountain. You have a surprise I won't spoil here, see my review if you want that, plus some fun visuals including the penguin exhibit you pass on the brake run. And if you aren't into coasters, you can still see the penguins alone at the adjacent Penguin Bay viewing area. Legoland Billund attracts over 2 million guests annually, and if you visit during the summer months, expect the park to be busy daily. Midways will feel pretty jammed, but crowds are dispersed pretty evenly across the main attractions. So while no one ride will consistently post an hour plus wait, it's not uncommon for the adult rides to post 30 to 45 minute waits across the board. Staff members do a good job loading and checking the restraints quickly, but some rides just have inherently low capacities. If you're a coaster enthusiast visiting exclusively for the credits, I would arrive at Legoland for opening. You should be able to make a quick lap before crowds hit their peak. Start with Flying Eagle since the Sear coaster only runs 1 train and gives 2 laps. This ride's queue is often spilling onto the midway open till close. I would then hit Dragon, Extreme Racers, and Polar Explorer in that order because each one is further into the park. While I don't recommend making Legoland a credit run, I know some do it. If you care about more than just the coasters, I recommend giving yourself a full day so you don't have to rush. And I could see diehard LEGO fans and kids wanting to spend 2 days here, especially because this park doesn't have the longest hours. The park closes by 6 p.m. some days, and the rides always close an hour before the official closing time. This can be problematic on days when everything has a line. With a full day, I would still prioritize Flying Eagle first. I would then make a beeline back to Ice Pilot School. The latter is downright miserable capacity. It can accommodate a max of 10 riders at a time. I would then knock out anything else in the back half of the park such as Polar Explorer and the rides in Adventureland and LEGO Movie World before the crowds reach them. If you want to maximize your visit, you can purchase the Reserve and Ride Skip the Line Pass. I opted for this because I only had a half day before my flight back home. It is pricey, costing between 299 and 749 Danish krona, or 40 to 100 US dollars depending on the tier. The higher levels cut the return times down significantly. The system worked on most of the park's major rides, and when your time was called, you'd board almost instantly. I did have one issue though. This is an electronic system using a website similar to the ones at Six Flags and the other Merlin parks. However, my reservations would not go through over data. Worse, it chewed through my data allowance in no time trying to process the reservations I tried to make. Legoland Billund does have free Wi-Fi, but the signal is inconsistent towards the back of the park. I had to keep heading towards the front of the park to have a strong enough connection to reserve a ride. I'm guessing locals do not have the same issue, but watch out if you're a foreigner reliant on Wi-Fi like me. With just a half day, I did not try any meals here, especially because they all had very long lines. I didn't see 2 of the usual Legoland staples though, as I couldn't find apple fries or the pizza and pasta buffet walking through the park. If you want the most immersive Legoland experience, you can opt to stay at one of their on-site hotels. Both the Legoland Hotel and Castle Hotel are located across the street from the park. These hotels can be pricey in summer, costing 3,000 krona or $400 per night, but you can get them for a quarter of that price if you stay on an off-peak weekday. And while I've never stayed there, they do look to maintain the same colorful aesthetic and theme of the main park. There also is a campground nearby affiliated with the park. So do I recommend Legoland Billund? If you have kids, absolutely. This is easily the best park in Denmark for children. The abundance of family-friendly rides combined with all the LEGO theming and exhibits makes this place spectacular for that demographic. Legoland parks always seem to be a hit with kids, and this one was a tier above the others I've visited. As an adult, this was easily my favorite Legoland. The park supplemented the usual offerings with some one-of-a-kind attractions and the occasional dark ride. There were several rides I wanted to experience multiple times. I can't say the same for a lot of the other Legoland parks. So those are my thoughts on Legoland Billund. What are your thoughts on the original Legoland park? Do you agree it's the best one in the chain? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a like and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.